for those of you who missed my personal live stream, we have an announcement.
You have an announcement.
I have an announcement.
You have an announcement.
There has been a really fun running joke that I have an OnlyFans, and the joke is no more because I have an OnlyFans account. I am now an OnlyFans content creator.
Did you? I actually haven't been on it, but did you make the video of what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I sent you the video, didn't I?
Well, you sent me the rough cut.
No, that was the video.
Okay, that was the
That was the committed video.
Yes.
That was
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not even going to spoil it. Go look it up. Go lazytechtv.tony.com.net/OnlyFans.
Okay, you're definitely not going to send them to the correct website, but if you go to onlyfans.com/lazytechtony, you'll find me. You can subscribe absolutely for free and watch the one video that will be there. That's the only video that will be there.
Can you see the names of the subscribers?
Well, I mean, I guess you could see the subscriber, their usernames. Yeah. Because I can only assume that some people like to be, hey, big Quinnton, how you doing?
Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I'm uncomfortable now.
Well, you're sitting next to me on a couch.
I was more thinking you look up and you're like, all right, so David has an account and Alex has an account and Joseph has an account.
I don't know. I think the anonymity of OnlyFans or just any website in general is kind of the allure.
I feel like if there's any website that is going to have hey, we've got a name generator here for you.
Oh.
If there's any website that's going to have that, it's going to be something like OnlyFans.
I was going to say it'd be Reddit.
Well, it'd be... no, I think it'd be like Xbox, places to play games, whether it be Xbox or not, places to play games, and then OnlyFans and all those kinds of websites.
Oh, that's great. Xbox now uses the same random name generator that OnlyFans uses. That's not something we should put on a tagline.
It's the exact same.
Let's not use the same algorithm that they use to create usernames because we'll get some very interesting usernames. I'll tell you what. But yeah, we the whole idea behind me creating an OnlyFans was because in the very, very small margin that someone wants to go out there and troll me and create a Lazy Tectonia OnlyFans, they could, but now they can't. I mean, they could still do it, but it would be Lazy Tectony 2 or
the real Lazy Tectony
69 or whatever, something like that. So in any event, that is a thing that I now have on my digital resume. That is not on LinkedIn, but I'm just saying it's out there.
You should.
What would I put?
It'd be something like you gotta network yourself out as much as possible. You gotta cast a wide net. That includes OnlyFans.
I guess. I mean, like David says here, lazy erotic tech tips.
Lazy erotic tech tips. All right, so you take.
Oh, is it he said exotic. I'm sorry, my mind is elsewhere. But lazy exotic tech tips.
Oh, I read this angle. I read
either
erotic.
Way.
Nonetheless, they're great.
They're wonderful suggestions. I don't think I'll actually be pursuing it.
Here's the answer.
What?
It's different tiers. So you have the tier 0, the $0 that you have now. That's the video.
That's just the video.
Yeah, and then there's the tier 1 that has the exotic tech tips.
So
and then the erotic tech tips is the expensive one.
Yeah,
and it's just you in front of the camera talking about you're reviewing how you used to. You're reviewing a lot of tech,
right?
But
I'm spread eagle,
nude.
But I'm spread eagle as well.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking cross-legged, but spread eagle. All right.
No, they're paying $1,000 for this. They're getting spread eagle.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I was thinking $1,000. You'd at least give him the helicopter or something.
That's the tip.
Oh, there you go.
No pun intended, but that would be the extra on top of it. I'm paying $1,000. I want to see a helicopter. Here's another $1,000. You're getting a helicopter.
You're getting the helicopter.
Nano, I just don't.
We're off the rails.
Yeah,
today.
Don't worry about it. The whole idea of this podcast originally being a family appropriate podcast.
It's not this episode.
Not this episode. So if you're listening to this episode with your family,
I hope you looked at the NSFW tag that he put on the episode.
Also, the episode now, a lot of them are rated explicit. So if you go off of that, maybe that would be your medium to say, oh, maybe I don't listen to this with the 5-year-old in the car. What about people that complete games on the easiest difficulty.
What's wrong with that?
Because they're not challenging themselves. The
Game
game
is entertainment.
The game is made to be entertaining, but if you want easy levels, go back to Number Blaster.
No.
I don't know.
You're there for entertainment. Sometimes yeah, you want a challenge. You want to like go in and you want to feel challenged. Sometimes you just want to feel like a god and just murder everything.
Digitally.
Digitally, yes. Yeah. But like sometimes you want to go in feeling like Doomslayer and just shred everything in your path and have no obstructions and just have fun.
Now,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Is it wrong for them to then like post their end of that chapter score, say, look, I got 40,000 points and I finished it and did this, and people are like, wow, that like the average for that chapter is usually like 15,000. How'd you get 40,000? You must be freaking awesome. And they're like, well, I did it on easy. Is that still okay?
That sounds more like a developer end issue, in my opinion, of like, okay, why are you not rewarding people for higher difficulties? Like, why are you making your scaling system is not functional? Like, you're rewarding people for not challenging themselves.
Again, because you look at that from the analytical. I'm looking at more of the social aspect of it. Because you going in there like, well, the developer should fix that. No, fuck that. Let's talk about what the other people that are seeing the score, like 40,000. That this guy must be a god, and he says, I only did it on easy.
That sounds like a speedrunner move kind of thing of just like, the devs left some stuff of like in a mess, like probably shouldn't have done that way, so I'm gonna abuse it to get a higher score or something. You do what you want to do. I'm trying to think of a situation in which I would have an issue with someone playing on like on easy or something. I struggle to find one. Like maybe if there was a competition, it was like a survival competition on some sort of game, and somebody was like, "Oh, I put it on easy for me, but you get hard." Mm-hmm. Be like, "No,
yeah,
I don't have any problems with people playing like on lower difficulties or stuff. I especially love the games that support it. So like you and I can play together, but you can be on a lower difficulty and I can be on a higher, so I can be challenged, but you can have fun, and like we don't affect each other, but even though we're doing like the same campaign or whatever, I hope more games do that.
Yeah,
because that's so fun.
It brings to mind like our friend did a lasso in Halo recently, and do you explain to everybody what a lasso is?
Lasso, it stands for Legendary All Skulls On in Halo, which is you do it on the highest difficulty with everything working against you. So they have like little modifiers in the game that like make it so you can't find ammo as well, or you don't have a HUD, or the enemies, like they normally throw like a grenade a minute. Now they throw like 10 grenades every second. Like it's just the whole world's up against you. It makes it super hard. And there's like a bunch of achievements, like little rewards for saying like, hey, you did it. You completed the game on this difficulty, and it is a slog from what I've understood.
It is.
Yeah.
So should they have the same acclaim level that someone who finishes the campaign and just is very happy about finishing the campaign?
I'd say it depends on what would I say? It like kind of depends on like where they're saying it.
It's like, just their Instagram.
Like, well,
like you don't go.
So they don't know each other. It's just a post that says I beat the game on Lasso, and a post that says I beat the game on easy, and I had fun. And
yeah.
And I know these two people, but they don't know each other.
Sure. Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. What if they knew each other?
Still no problem with that.
Why would knowing each other make a difference?
If I was thinking of a scenario of like, I beat the game on easy. Well, I beat the game on Lasso. Okay, cool. Like, good for you, but that's not what I was after. I was just saying I beat the game.
Right.
Like, I guess I take more issue with people who flex that they beat the game on higher difficulties and gatekeep the people who can't.
That's the word that I've been thinking about ever since we started this conversation, is the gatekeepers.
The gatekeepers, I feel like, aren't on the low end. They're on the high end.
But I don't know why they exist. Like, what are you getting out of this? You gatekeeping, saying, oh, you didn't do it on Lasso, so it doesn't count, or it's not as good as someone doing it on Lasso. Sure, even if you did it on Lasso, this is their experience.
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking down somebody else's enjoyment who's obviously proud of what they did, to the point that they're going to share it on social media to a bunch of strangers and friends?
Or with you specifically. That's even worse.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
I've experienced that.
Oh, I have too.
I've experienced that.
I think we've both experienced it at work, where we're like, yeah, we beat the new game. And they're like, well, did you beat the new game on the highest difficulty? And you're like, no, I didn't.
When Gears of War 4 came out and we had to demo it at work, first off, I'm not a huge Gears fan.
Okay.
So I just went through the game just to get through the game.
Yeah, just have fun.
But I was just getting through the game so I could unlock all the things. So when I demoed the game, they're all unlocked. Everything's all done. And I had a couple of like Gears of War diehards who I would not be surprised if they had like, the Gears tattoo or something like that. Because they knew the game inside and out. They knew it when it was,
if you reload and you double tap this button while also meleeing, you can skip the reload animation, and then you can have your gun reloaded faster, and then you can shoot the bad guys oh my gosh.
All that level of complexity, I'm like, I'm glad that you know that. And if I really, really cared about the game, sure. But I just enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, but you didn't really experience it then. It's like, no, but I still chopped those guys in half. Like, yeah, but you didn't
earn that chop.
You didn't get the thrill. You didn't get the thrill of being able to actually do the killing strike, because it was just one button. Whereas for me, because I'm on a higher level of legendary or whatever the higher level is,
I have to lick their sensual body before I can chop them in half.
No, again, and as Cypher says, not everybody is good at everything, and having 3 different levels of easy, medium, and hard, and then maybe the lassos or like the insane levels or whatever. That's great. I just cannot stand people who, and this goes for any kind of gatekeeper, like music gatekeepers, like, oh, you just are now listening to I Prevail. Pfft, I've heard of them since 2010. Man. Like,
I feel like the music thing is pretty bad, and especially it's the weird one in music is the like I love this indie band. Indie band gets big. They're big now. I don't listen to them. It's like, what?
Or the opposite. How many people now, because of Stranger Things, heard Metallica for the first time? And how many of those people were insulted and not canceled, but they were just made to look like they were stupid and lesser,
like, oh,
because they've never heard Master of Puppets, they never heard Enter Sandman or anything by Metallica, and they're like, that's not my music. I like it now.
Yeah.
I can see why they were big, but I had no interest in them before, and they just so happened to have a good track on a show that I enjoyed, so I like them now. Like, yeah, but you're just one of those. Like,
yeah,
what is that?
Calm down.
Calm down.
Yeah, like you're making it so you the thing you love doesn't have more people to love it.
Now,
like,
you're
making it worse on yourself.
Here's my question to you, because this is a little gatekeepery on my end, I will admit.
Okay.
But what about kids that wear the band T-shirts that don't know anything about the band? They're just like, oh, honestly, a Grateful Dead shirt.
Okay. But they've never listened to
Never listened to them at all.
I'd say that's the parents' fault. Like, you're going to let them wear a shirt, but you haven't like taken the time to be like, hey, let's sit down and I'll show you what Grateful Dead is. It's pretty cool. Check this out.
Yeah.
Like, I'd almost look at the parents more of just like, y'all have a duty for this. Like, come on.
Also, because they're probably the ones that bought it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're the ones like,
this is on
I
you.
got this from Target and my parents bought it for me and it's a really cool skull or whatever. And, it's like, well, do you know about Deadheads and Jerry Garcia and all that? Like, I don't know. Did he make ice cream? Like, I don't know.
Did he make ice cream? Yeah, in Florida, he owned one little stand and no one knew about it, and he had very low customer base. He actually went out of business. Why do you know about it? Well, I just met him.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
He was on the flight over here.
Yeah. He just told me about it. That's all.
It's like Jerry Garcia, right?
No, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not like the biggest thing. Like, okay, sure. Like, whatever. You're just wearing the shirt.
Well, because like, you know, the 90s are coming back. Like if you go to Target, you go to Walmart, you go to these big box retailers that have this the like even Kohl's to a degree, they have the screen, the print tees, the screen prints, and they have like the old school MTV logo.
So let me ask you this then. Let me kind of flip the question on
Sure.
you. I kind of did this, what you're talking about.
Okay.
For a very long time, I received a gift, which was I want to say it was a Tekken hat, like the fighting game Tekken, right? And it wasn't.
How again?
Huh?
How?
Tekken.
This is how Tekken fights.
The Tekken game, yeah, it was a Tekken hat, but it didn't say like Tekken on it or anything. It was like a symbol from like one of the characters. Sure. It was like his symbol or whatever. Yeah. And I really liked the hat. I was like, that's a cool symbol. And I have no problem with Tekken, so I wore it all the time.
Yeah.
I was a comfy hat. Mm-hmm. It fit well. It looked good.
Yeah.
It was really sharp looking. I don't play Tekken at all.
You got it as a gift. That's kind of the difference, I think. Like, when did you get this? How old were you?
It was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Like this is in adulthood.
In adulthood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had other hats that I could choose from.
Friends? Gross. Okay. How do I get him out of this? No. Like,
hey.
4 years ago, I was a lot more stuck up than I am right now.
Okay.
So I probably would have been like, look, I don't play Tekken, but
you shouldn't represent.
You shouldn't wear the hat. If that was my attitude.
I got this. This is Tony. 4 years ago. You shouldn't wear that hat. You don't play that game, Tony. Now. Whatever, dude. I don't care.
I'm sitting up. Why did I all of a sudden go into like laze mode?
Because you're lazy tech Tony.
Oh, Jesus
and
Christ.
You vape and stuff, so clearly like you're just laid out.
Okay.
That's your personality now.
That's
it's
my
laid
thing
out.
Now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Yeah. Next podcast, or not podcast. Next stream, I expect a full lazy boy, and you're just like, hey guys.
I think I'm doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow, so we'll see.
Get a lazy boy. You can fall asleep on stream. Did you see that guy that fell asleep on stream and he had like
Ludwig
300 viewers or something like that?
Oh, that was from a while ago.
Oh, it was a while ago, but it was so like he wakes up and he's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was an unintentional, like, he made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Because people, so I guess someone posted it on Reddit and they just were like, let's fuck with this guy as he's asleep and just like subscribe to him, gave him bits and donations and shit. And he's like, what the hell? Yeah. No. 4 years ago, I would have been a little bit gatekeepery, and since then, I think what really opened my mind was having a kid that is also starting to get into things that I was into or things that I'm into.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, it makes sense if I get you a Kiss t-shirt because she's listened to Kiss and she likes it, and she's not like down with it. She doesn't know every single Gene Simmons like bass solo or anything like that, but she enjoys it for what it is.
She comes to Utah and she can actually play every song.
I would love that, but in conjunction with that, if she were to ever say like, oh yeah, I want that really cool MTV logo or anything, like, oh yeah, that's a cute shirt. She has no connection to that whatsoever. She just likes it as a shirt. 4 years ago, I would have been like, no, let me explain what MTV used to be, and as opposed to what it is now. I'd give her this whole stupid history lesson that's going to go in one ear and out the other. Whereas now, I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, if they like the shirt for the shirt, then great. If they're buying the shirt because they think it's a really cool skull on there, that's awesome. Maybe do a little bit more research. But
you just reminded me of a story, though. I have to tell you because you said like a skull on a shirt.
But let me finish. But I think the issue with the gatekeeper people, especially with music, is what you said before. They used to be smaller, and then they got bigger. And there's the fear that they are going to go completely sold out and just become like arena rock and only do radio rock and not what they, grew up to, what I fell in love with originally. They're not that anymore. and people don't like change. And they wouldn't, the theory, I would say, is they wouldn't have changed if all these little teeny boppers wouldn't buy their merch at Hot Topic and Target, and they would have just stayed like that black metal deathcore band that I really like. And now we have Asking Alexandria, who's just doing acoustic shit all the time. They're not what they used to be.
That's fine. People change. Things evolve. People need to get over it. I have several bands that I love to death, and I like all their old stuff, and I'm not a big fan of their new stuff. And that's fine. I still love their old stuff. They're not like terrible people or anything. They're trying new things. That's cool. You do you, I'll do me. I'm probably not going to buy your new CD. As if I ever bought a CD, but I'm probably not going to buy your new album, but good for you. You're still making music, you're still doing what you love.
I'll listen to their new album, like on Spotify or,
I'll listen,
or in your case, Apple Music.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it just to see if I can get with it, but
if it's not for me, it's not for me.
If it's not for me, yeah. No,
but
I
don't have anything against that as long as they don't turn into like shitty people. Like, you do you. If you feel like you want to change your music like tone and stuff, and like, it's not my band, it's your band. You do your thing. Unless your band, like they're we are your band. Like, unless that's their thing, you do you. Like, whatever. Just know that like I might not, go to your next concert or whatever, and it's fine. Like, unless I know that like, you do a common thing of like you play some of the new stuff, some of the old stuff, like, okay, I'll show up.
Yeah.
I'll listen to the new stuff and the old stuff.
When we all went to the metal concert here in Utah together, there were a lot of kids there. And some of them, you could clearly see they did not want to be there. And some of them really did.
I did not notice this, so that's amazing.
So the ones that did not want to be there, that sucks, that the parents, like, effectively dragged them there.
Yeah, and also, why?
Well, I get it to a degree that you're trying to expose your kids to music that you enjoy, because I went to a lot of like operas that I did not want to be at, but like, it's because I was ingratiated into that and like listened to it time and time again, like, all right, this isn't that bad. Like, I don't understand what she's saying, but now I have the lyric sheet. I'm like, oh, okay, she loves the guy, cool, yay,
good for you.
Yeah. But
I feel like
but
and over again would not be okay though. Like, take them, see how they feel about it. If there's something vastly different, like, okay, I took you to a metal show and you weren't a fan, so I'm going to take you to a techno show, and we'll see how you feel there. But like, I'm going to take you to a metal show. You didn't like it, cool. We're going to go to a different metal show. Well, maybe pump the brakes a little bit.
I mean, the argument could be said that, like, Lamb of God is very different from like Ice Nine Kills, for example. So like, they might prefer Ice Nine Kills. I'll not take them to a Lamb of God metal show, but I'll still take them to a metal show.
Well, then my thought is more like, show them the music before, and if they show interest, then maybe we could talk about what you're talking about. Yeah. But if they have no interest and they still don't have no interest, like, move on. Like, I'm sorry, it didn't work out. Like, find something else.
I want you to get to your skull story, but I just want to give a shout out to Denizo. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. This is our podcast. We do a podcast every other week. I'm Tony. That's Quinnton.
That's me.
And hope you enjoy what you see here.
Okay.
Tell us about the skull thing.
So you were saying about like people wearing skull thing. Like, I just like the skull and stuff. I had a friend, and he hated Call of Duty. Absolutely loathed the franchise, like weird level of like can't handle it. And he knew
Huckled Gaming,
and he knew I loved playing the game, and so he never like really laid into me or anything like that. He never was like, oh, why do you play this game? Like, he's just like, no, I hate that franchise. No, I don't like it. No. Okay. One day he comes over, he puts his phone on the counter, and his phone lights up. And I see the Call of Duty Ghosts skull on the background. And I'm like, where'd you find the skull?
Explain yourself.
Yeah, where? Because I have a feeling. And I'm like, where'd you find it? And he's like, oh, I found it online.
Just a wallpaper.
Like a wallpaper. And I'm like, you like it a lot? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, it's the new Call of Duty logo. he's like, what? You can see the torn of like, but I like this skull, but it's the thing I hate. But I like the skull, but it's the thing I hate.
Yeah.
He ended up changing the background.
I'm not surprised. So he didn't like look at the skull and like, maybe I'll give it another shot. He's like, no, fuck this.
He's like, no, it's associated with the thing.
I'm doing the easier thing, just changing the background to just black. Just do black background. I don't give a fuck.
Just anything but this.
Yeah.
But it made me laugh so hard because I'm like, where'd you find this, huh? Because it's like it was like Call of Duty Ghosts, it was on the way that was like all the hype, all the rage, like everyone's like hyped for it. And so I'm just laughing, just like, you haven't seen the logo, have you?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like kind of debating like, how long do I let this go for? Do I tell him, or do I just let this keep going and just let him eventually find out and eventually make the dots?
But you had to tell him.
I wanted to see his face.
Yeah.
I wanted to see his face and be like, this is the Call of Duty logo. He's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, here, look.
Yeah. No, that's funny. That's pretty hilarious. I've had a few instances with people who are like, I hate that game because that game sucks. I fucking hate it when someone says that game sucks and it's such a terrible game. And I'm like, okay, well,
for
that's your opinion.
Yeah, for you.
Like, no, it sucks. I'm like, no.
And it's always...
That is your opinion, because if you watch it, plenty of people are playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's always
plenty
the thing.
of people are playing. We hated Fortnite for how fucking long?
I still am not a big fan, but like, obviously
yeah,
it does
but
well.
we memed it, we made fun of it, we said it like it's like the kiddie version of Apex Legends, and definitely the kiddie version of PUBG.
Uh-huh.
And there was maybe monetary amount, but there wasn't anything immediate that would ever make me install the game. And now I can't stop playing it. It's one of the most fun games that I've ever played. And that has to do with a lot of things. And, you know, I'll say right now, Apex has gone downhill on a number of things. And I think everyone in chat who's ever played the latest seasons of Apex will agree. But to say a game sucks, just blanket sucks, and no, it's not my opinion, it just sucks, is so irritatingly like small-minded.
But what I was gonna say is it's always like the big games too. It's never like this small little like.
Well, no, but they're
title.
they're indie devs. They're trying. That's why. But this game sucks, and they get millions of dollars. It shouldn't suck. That's the argument. It shouldn't suck because they should make it gooder. That's what they say. They don't say better. They say gooder.
My favorite game moment that I can think of where I was playing a game and I was like, this game is bad, is when there was like the last Medal of Honor before their like giant hiatus because that literal game killed the franchise. I remember getting it on like a steep like sale or whatever, and I'm like, okay, let's give this a whirl because everyone's saying it's bad, but you know what? I love shooters, and it's Medal of Honor, so how bad could it really be?
Sure.
My favorite moment, because there was a lot of bugs, and that was the big problem, is there was a lot of bugs, but my favorite moment is there's this like crescendo moment where this missile's going to hit this building and there's going to be a huge explosion and everything's going to go wrong and like the building's going to collapse and you've got to run away from the collapsing building and so much going on. Yeah. The building wasn't making noise during all this. And so everyone's like, but like nothing's making noise. The missile hits, no noise. The explosion goes off, no noise. The building starts crumbling, no noise. But like everyone else is still making noise. Everyone else is still, oh my gosh.
All
but
the
it's
other
like
characters
everyone's freaking out.
So the dialogue works.
Yeah, and like remember, like other things are still there, right? Like they still have the footsteps. They still have like all the other Foley that is built into the game.
Sure.
And so like all of that's still happening, but there's no sound for the building, and so it's very like it feels super disorienting because like you can hear everyone like shuffling and running around, but like you could tell that the building was supposed to mask some things. So like you could hear like the AI going to where it was supposed to and like kind of like quick stepping and like I just remember just being like, oh man, this took me out of the moment.
Oh, this is why. Yeah. No, I mean like for example, in Apex Legends, like my friend and I will call him, I don't know, Huckled Gaming, for example, and we'll play duos and we'll drop in, and something will happen, and he'll get down and he'll get frustrated, and similarly to to you to a degree. Like he tries to logic his way to be able to blame them, to say they're possibly cheating, like that they have.
Do I do that? Do I blame people for cheating?
No, but you logic your way out of things, in certain ways.
Okay.
Right. So instead of like looking inward, like, well, maybe I should change. Like, no, this is the other reason, and that's the focus. But
Okay.
little shade to you. There you go.
Yeah, clearly.
Enjoy it. But so he'll do that, and I'm like, from my point of view, he was around the corner. He's like, well, not from my point of view. Like, yeah, well, from my point of view, he was. So either it's your internet was laggy or something, but he clearly was able to, like blame the game
Or the
screen lookers.
Yeah, they screen cheated.
Exactly. Yep. Good to see you suffer. But whereas, I'm not appreciative of those things, because usually if I get killed in a match, I'll take the blame. Like, I'll get frustrated, sure, but it's usually I hit the wrong button or I don't aim as well, because hey, guess what? I don't aim as well. That's just the nature of how I play. And I know this, and I will take the blame, and I will try to do better next time. That's why, like in PUBG, I'd always ask you for like feedback of like, how do I do this better? How do I do that better? And a lot of times you're like, it just takes practice. And
you don't jump out of moving cars.
Yeah.
That's an important one.
Yeah. Well, you didn't tell me that the first time. But in Apex, footsteps would go away. And footsteps is very important in those games.
No, I think
and when you didn't have footsteps, because that is not necessarily a dev issue, more of a server issue, that's what was frustrating. Like, okay, if you clearly didn't hear footsteps and that's how the guy came up behind you, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. That I agree with you. That is a problem. But if you're blaming them for having a better quick scope or better gaming chair or better, like they're just better at keyboard and mouse or on their controller, and instead of trying to say, well, they have a Chronos, which gives them that extra auto aim, like, don't blame the Chronos. Take response. Like, I don't like that. I don't like. They could have a Chronos. They totally could. I don't care, because because like at that point you're not learning to be a better player. You're just learning how to blame other people.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I don't do that. Like, I feel like I logic my way of like how did this happen? And usually, like it's mostly like just me.
No,
and like, especially when we're talking games, especially like battle royales and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's what I can feel the energy from you of like, that's when it gets super frustrating, is when you have that ability of like, just like, no, I'll take the L. I did this. I aimed wrong, pressed the buttons wrong, didn't do the thing right. Whatever it was, I got killed because my mistake, my lack of whatever. It's that much more frustrating when it's like out of your control, like the footsteps thing that you're talking about. When it's that and you're just like, there's nothing I could have done to prevent this. Like, literally zero across the board. Nothing I could have done better. Yeah. And that's when it's like frustrating. When you're just like, there's nothing I could do
when
here.
It is inherently the game's fault.
Yeah.
100% the game's fault. Like, you switch weapons and your weapons don't switch. Like, you're actually pressing that button. Like, everyone, like if you're streaming it, for example, like, watch me press X, which switches out, or that reloads. Watch me press LB or whatever it is that switches out.
Why?
No, in Fortnite it's LB or
RB.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Keep going.
What is Y in Fortnite? Someone tell me what Y is in Fortnite, because it's not, I don't know what it is. Anyways,
yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I'm pressing the button and my character is not doing what I want to do. Like, I guess arguably you could say there's wireless problems. You could argue there's a wireless problem, but everything else in the game
is functional.
Then
no, it's not a wireless problem.
Then maybe it's not a wireless problem.
Like, the packets don't have like a preference of like, oh well, the half of the packet made it, and specifically you switching weapons. Sorry, bud.
So when something like that happens, that's when it's like extremely, extremely frustrating. Same thing in Halo. Suffer. I know you play Halo. You and I played Halo a little bit the other day. We should play Halo again. We should play Destiny. You and I should play Destiny. Just you and me.
Speaking of Destiny.
No, but let me finish this thing on Halo. Plenty of cheaters on Halo. I think we know this.
I don't know this, but
plenty,
keep going.
It's Halo. Come on. Plenty of cheaters on Halo. The way that I just kind of deal with that is just move on. Or if it's becoming more and more, like you're just genuinely not enjoying the game, change the game. Like, it sucks that they're there. I'm sure 343 is doing what they can to do an anti-cheat system similar to all the other games that have anti-cheat systems. But if it's not at the level that you want to be at, then change the game. Get out of the game. Move on. Dude, just like there's no reason to just like play a game and just be like, he's cheating and he's cheating and he's cheating. I'm going to report all these guys. Like, no, that's not going to help.
Yeah.
That's
also,
not going to do anything.
They're going to flag your account of like, you cry wolf to everyone. Why are we going to listen to you?
Do you think that aggressive blaming behavior keeps people in the game longer? Being like, oh, I suck can make people quit early. That's interesting. See, I think, like, I don't think I suck in a negative sense. Like, oh, well, I fucked up there. Let me do better. Like, I look at it as a learning experience. Like, when anyone asks me, like, how are your rounds in Fortnite? How are your rounds in Apex? Today, I play like maybe 10 games. I lost every single one of them, but they were great rounds because I was able to do things better than the round before, whether it was building my fort or what have you. It's a learning experience.
You know what Apex needs is like PUBG. It needs a casual mode.
Just bots.
Maybe another team, but like mainly just bots.
Yeah.
Like just let me go around and feel like a god. Like we're talking about the all going back to the easy mode thing. Like,
yeah.
The none of the battle royales except for PUBG, and they only allow you to do it 3 times a day.
3 times a day.
Yeah, but except for PUBG has like an easy mode. All of the other ones are like, no, you fight against humans, you get your teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
That's it.
And get better at it.
Yeah.
Get better or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like PUBG's like, no, we have a casual mode. Yeah, there's people here, but there's also not people here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there are bot levels in Fortnite if you do custom games. So you can do custom games that way. I don't. But in Apex, you're right. There's not like a non-developer custom match. They're like you're either in it or you're not.
Right. There's a training grounds, but that doesn't do
anything.
You can shoot the targets and you can spawn the little guys.
You can turn off the friendly fire and fight your friends. I mean, that's kind of fun, but like I could 1v1 you in that, but like
Ooh.
that gets old pretty quickly as well too, because it's not the battle royale. It's just 1v1ing.
Right.
Clearly, he's going to win. I mean, we already know this.
I don't know about nowadays. You've kept up with the game. I haven't.
Not with Apex.
No?
No.
So it's all Fortnite for you.
It's been Night of Forts all the time.
All right. Let's get you back on Destiny.
So, Suffer, we should play Destiny because I do need to do a strike with you. I promised you a strike, at least a strike, if not a Nightfall.
Take him on a Nightfall. Master.
Not a Well, I can get a Pinnacle drop with the Master.
You can get a Pinnacle drop with the bottom tier. You just have to do it 3 times.
Yeah, so Suffer, shoot me a DM. But the whole like I suck behavior, I get my mentality is a little bit, I don't know, like most people are not going to have that mentality. Most people are like, oh, I suck, and just like
the whole like if they're saying I suck in the chat, like they're constantly saying that in the chat. I'm kind of like, hey, positive self-talk, like, that's not healthy. Like I won't go into like a health aspect of like, hey, that if you're doing it here, I imagine you're doing it elsewhere, and if you're doing it elsewhere, that means you're doing it maybe more than you should. And when you're doing it more than you should, that's really bad for your mental health. Right. Like you should talk to somebody about like, are you good? You shouldn't be doing this. Like saying I suck constantly is not a good thing.
I mean, there's this expectation that if you're going to play a game with your friends and they've played the game for forever, there's this weird expectation, like I have to prove myself to you guys, because that's how I felt when I did raids with you.
And that's you. That's your problem.
Right. But I feel like they're, a group of gamers, there does need to be that one voice, like you said, to be like, hey, yeah, you're not as good as us, sure, but don't say that about yourself. Like there's no reason to say that about yourself. Maybe you don't have to say that in chat. Maybe you give them a call later on.
DM.
And like, are you good? Like that was weird. Like you were totally happy before we started the raid, and now it sounds like you don't want to do anything. Like, what's wrong? And if it's just innately like I'm just not used to this game mode, I'm playing Call of Duty and I'm murking people left and right, so clearly Destiny is just not for me. Like, well, no, that's maybe, but also this is your first time doing a raid in Destiny, or maybe your third time doing a raid.
You're gonna get your teeth kicked in,
right?
And it's gonna be fine, and we're all here for you.
But I feel like people have these expectations of themselves, which is just. There is a healthy expectation that you can have, and then there's the unhealthy expectation. And I feel like too many people have the unhealthy expectation. And then some people lean into it. Like, I have a potato aim. I know this, and I lean into it. And like I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I make it happen, but it's a mess.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, Suffer has not done a legit rage. He's not done a legit rage or a raid. So I want to talk to you off air about
let's do it,
because he's leveled.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm always down for a raid. See? I'm always down for a raid.
Yeah. Well, Quinnton, thank you very much for being here. As always, folks, you can follow the podcast not only here on Anchor, but also on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, the Still Recording Pod. And if you want to follow us individually, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Xbox at Firewall.
You folks can find me those places under Lazy Tech Tony. And until the next time, take care
of yourselves. No. And also at onlyfans.com/LazyTechTony. Don't forget that one.
Take care of yourselves. Later.
Bye, guys.